The Brian Mudd Show is on News Radio 610 WIOD.
This one we're going to touch on here, I thought was an interesting story. So we have a lot of colleges that like to point to themselves and say, we are the U. I mean, come on, Miami, right? But what about Ohio State? Because they like to say they are the Ohio State University. Well, guess what? They were just granted a registered trademark for that. And here to talk to us about this once again, none other than Florida's own patent professor, we have John Rizvi joining us. John, are you surprised that the Ohio State University was able to trademark the?
Well, I'm not surprised, but of course this is my field. So I've seen a lot of things that get trademarked that shock the rest of the world. I mean, some people may not know, but the University of Alabama trademarked A. I mean, the letter
No
A.
kidding.
So some people are like, how can you trademark a word? Well, even letters have been trademarked. And in fact, I'm a UM fan. I went to the University of Miami for law school. They have a trademark on the U. Now, granted, it's a logo. It's the green and orange U, but they also have it in black and white, and that means they have it protected in all colors. So this is not unusual. I think what a lot of people are worried about is this somehow going to stop? Are they going to be infringing if they put something like the world's greatest dad or something on a T-shirt, anything that has the word "the"? And that's not the case. That's not how trademark rights work.
Yeah, so about that, I mean, we really don't hear any of these situations come up. To your point about UM or about Alabama or whomever else, is this a case to where, by and large, it just isn't really enforced, or is it just not something that often does come up as an issue?
Well, it is enforced if there ends up being consumer confusion. So clearly, I think if somebody enters the collegiate clothing market and starts using "the" as a brand, that could become an issue. But otherwise, I don't think there's anyone that's not selling goods that are related to collegiate clothing. I don't think they're not going to have any issues with using "the." Sometimes for colleges, it becomes even a PR nightmare if they become overly aggressive on enforcing. So the University of Alabama actually sent a cease and desist letter to a small bakery that was putting the letter A on cakes, saying that they have a trademark on the letter A, and then they had to withdraw. They had to back away from that. So there's, it's enforced if I think if the university and if it's a private company, if they see a threat to their business. Apple would be an example. Some people would say, how can you get, there's this feeling that you can't take words of the English language out of use because of trademark rights. Apple didn't take the word apple out of the use of the English language. Like, you don't have to go to Publix or a grocery store and be worried about pointing and saying you want that, the crispy red fruit and saying I can't say apple. What Apple got with their trademark, they got rights to computers, cell phones, electronics, a lot of specific classes, and the use of Apple for those classes. But I think that's the big fear with the word "the." It's not as scary if you understand how trademark rights work.
Got it. So this might be as much of an ego stroke as anything for Ohio State, it sounds like.
It is. I mean, they've been, and of course, I'm not from Ohio. I didn't go to the university, but apparently that's the "the" is critical in distinguishing them from, from Oklahoma State University and, I think there's something else that has OSU as the initials. So they emphasize the "the" to distinguish them from the other colleges. So it's the Ohio State University, and the "the" becomes prominent, and that's what they want to get a trademark, because clearly they have about $12 million in licensing and revenues from commercializing goods and services relating to that. They don't want others to infringe on those rights. They don't want somebody else selling clothing, sports-related clothing, caps, whatever, and using THE by itself.
Do not want to get the Oregon State folks messed up with the Ohio State University. Yeah, no, it's that's fascinating. Always appreciate the insight. And by the way, John's website, thepatentprofessor.com, thepatentprofessor.com, happens to be the expert in These States United, and as mentioned, South Florida's own. So, John, appreciate it. Till next time.
Yep, terrific. Always a pleasure.